Hello, everybody, and today I will be your instructor for Applied Linguistics, and we will be discussing about morphemes. So, before that, I would like to ask you if you know the difference between a word and a morpheme. So, do you have any idea what the difference between the two are? I will call you. Sige, let's call on Jai Salazar. Do you know any idea what are the difference between the two?
Mm, no, ma'am.
How about you,
Sorry.
Raymond? Do you know the difference or do you have an idea what the difference are between the two?
Well, as far as I know, words are composed of morphemes.
Oh, and what about morphemes? What are they?
I don't know. I'm not sure
Okay.
if,
Uh,
but the morpheme is the smallest parts of the language.
okay. Sige. Thank you. Thank you for that, Raymond and Jai. So before anything, let's have a mini activity. So I want you to open the chat feature of Google Meet.
Okay.
And then I will ask you to type a word, any word, around, type a word of a thing that you can see around you. Okay?
Anything.
But, yeah, anything. But the next person, for example, so let's go it this way. I'll type first and then Raymond and then Jai and then me again and then Raymond and Jai. Okay. But the twist is the next person who would type a word has to start on the last letter of what the previous person typed.
Okay.
Okay?
I get
So,
it.
okay. How about you, Jai? Did you get the instructions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige, let's start. So, me first, and then Raymond, Jai, and then me, Raymond, Jai, until we all die. Okay. Sige, let's start. I will start with anything around you, ah. It has to be around you. Okay. Jai starts with letter D. 10, 3, 2, 1. Huh? The okay. Huh? This is hard. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Enjoy. 2, 1. Okay, teeth. Okay, teeth. Okay. Thank you for
So much
that.
fun.
Well, it makes sense. I guess there are teeth around Jai. So let's go on to our topic for today. Like I said, we are gonna discuss about morphemes. Let me present my screen. Please tell me if you can see it. Na? Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me just make it bigger. So we will be discussing about morphology. So before anything else, if phonology is about how we look at speech sound combinations like k and ta, which would make the word for cat, morphology is about the rules at how words are built or how they are made. So, morphology is the study or a branch of linguistics, the study of all the basic elements in a language and how they combine to form words. So elements that form a linguistic message are technically known as morphemes. So earlier I asked you what the difference is between a word and a morpheme. Raymond said it's the basic unit of language. In a way, it is. So, word is a freestanding unit of meaning, while morpheme is a single unit of meaning. So, for the word Sina is a word and a morpheme, while walked here, for example, for the word we used is walk. This is a word, but it has two morphemes. In this case, the root morpheme walk and the bound morpheme ed. So a while ago, we typed words, right? Words around us. Those that we type are all words, and they are morphemes. Okay, so basically, morphemes, these are a unit of meaning. So in a word, they could all words have a morpheme, but they could be at least one or more than one. Okay? So every word has a morpheme, and morpheme are the basic or the most basic unit of meaning. So in linguistic, okay, in any language there are at least two basic types of morphemes. So what are those? The first one are free morphemes. Are you still with me? Am I being too fast?
It's okay.
Okay,
Fine.
It's
sige.
okay.
So continuing on, the first type of morpheme, these are called free morphemes. Why do we call them free? Because these free morphemes, they are unit of meaning that can stand on its own. They don't need anybody, they can stand on its own. The examples are cat, Sina, walk, uh, light, teeth. Those are morphemes that can stand on its own. They don't need anybody. The other type of morphemes are bound morphemes. While the other is free, this one naman, bound morphemes, they can stand on themselves by themselves. They need to be attached to a root morpheme for them to make sense. So an example of that is the bound morpheme s from the word cats and the bound morpheme ed from the word walked. But you might say, ma'am, S is just a letter. Why is it a morpheme? Because in this case, the morpheme S, when attached to the root morpheme cat, changes the morpheme cat into its plural form. So in this case, the letter S acts as a morpheme, and its purpose is to change the grammatical function of the word cat to its plural form, cats. Okay? So they could be just one letter or two letters, but they change the root morpheme when it is attached to it. So each type of morpheme has its category. So in this case, free morpheme has two categories. The first one are lexical morphemes, and the second one are functional morphemes. What are those? So lexical morphemes, these are morphemes that carry the content of the message. So they carry the content of the message that they are trying to convey. So examples of these are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and because we can add new words or neologisms, lexical morphemes are called open class because we can add more add more words. That's why they are called open class. Examples of these are cat, walk, pretty, and the very uso na neologism Miss Rona for coronavirus, and Google. Google now is a term used to search into the internet. Google it. Just Google it like that. So the next category naman ay functional morphemes. Functional morphemes, these are morphemes that do not carry the content of the message, but they can stand on their own, di ba? Free morphemes, these are morphemes that they don't need any body. So although functional morphemes do not carry the content, but because they can stand on its own, maiintindihan mo siya kahit siya lang mag-isa, they are called free morphemes pa rin. Hindi sila bound. So examples of these are articles, conjunctions. I mean, articles a, the. Kahit sabihin mo, the, ha? Wala naman siyang content. It doesn't mean anything. But since it can stand on its own, it's a free morpheme. So, examples are articles, conjunctions, prepositions, and pronouns. And because we can't add more functional morphemes, they are called closed class of words. So, lexical carry the content, and functional are, they just function. They do not carry the content, pero they are free. They are functional morphemes. Okay, moving on. These are the two categories naman of bound morphemes. The first one are derivational morphemes, and the second one are inflectional morphemes. So what are the difference? For derivational morphemes, these are morphemes. These are bound morphemes. Again, bound, we add them to something else. They need to be attached to a root morpheme to make sense. Okay, derivational morphemes are morphemes that we add to a root morpheme that changes the grammatical category of a word. So what are grammatical categories? So grammatical categories, these are nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and so on and so forth. When we add a derivational bound morpheme to a root morpheme, it changes its actual category. So for example, it may change it to a noun to a verb to a noun, an adjective to a noun to an adjective, and so on and so forth. For example, the word the noun class, when you add the bound morpheme ify, it will turn into classify, which in this case will now be a verb. Okay, another example, when you use the word when you add the derivational morpheme ment or meant to the word encouragement, I encourage, the verb encourage now becomes a noun, encouragement. Okay, so derivational morpheme. The next one are inflectional morphemes. Inflectional morphemes, these are bound morphemes that indicate a grammatical, only the grammatical function of a word. So grammatical functions, these are plural, past tense, possessive, comparative, superlative, those kinds of functions. So again, derivational, you change, the bound morpheme changes it to another category, while inflectional just indicates a grammatical function. So in the English language, there are only 8, like exactly 8 inflectional morphemes, and these are those. So for noun, we have this, the possessive S to indicate possessiveness, apostrophe S rather, sorry, to indicate possessiveness. Jairus dog, Raymond's light, like that. And the morpheme S to indicate the plural form of a noun. For adjectives, there are ER and EST to indicate comparativeness and superlativeness. And for the verb, we have this number. We have S to indicate present tense, ing to indicate present participle, the present participle form of the verb, ed for past tense, and en for past participle of regular verbs. So, okay, those are the 8 inflectional morphemes in the English language. Okay, moving on. You don't need them. So again, to summarize, morphemes have 2 categories, and these are sorry, morphemes have two types of morpheme. Two types. These are free morphemes and bound morphemes. Free morphemes have two categories. These are lexical, those that carry content, noun, verb, adjective, and pronouns. And there are the second one are functional morphemes. These are articles, prepositions, and conjunctions. Bound morphemes have two categories. The first one is derivational, which changes the form, grammatical category of the word, and the inflectional, which doesn't change it to something else, but just indicates the grammatical function. And now we will go, okay, so yeah. We will now go to an activity. So let's determine what are the morphemes present in this sentence. So since we are only a small class, I will just call you. And you must unmute yourself and tell me what morpheme it is. What kind of morpheme is present? So I will call. Okay, let's start with Raymond. Raymond, what is Sina? Is it
Sina is a lexical.
Yes, correct.
It's a noun.
It's a noun. So Sina is a lexical morpheme. How about you, Jai? How many morphemes are in this word?
Ano ba yan?
So are they one? Are there two? Are there one? Only one? Are there one or two? Is it walk? Is it eating? Guess. Just guess.
In this sentence, ma'am?
Yeah, no. Yeah, for the word walk. Sorry.
Ah,
Sorry. For the word walk lang.
two.
Two. Okay, what are those morphemes? So two, like that. What is walk is what kind of morpheme is this one? Is it lexical, functional, inflectional, derivational?
Hmm. Lexical.
Yeah, it is a lexical morpheme because it's a verb. Okay, how about you, Raymond? What is this morpheme? Since it's attached to the root morpheme walk, this is a bound morpheme. What kind of bound morpheme is ed? Is it derivational?
It's an inflectional
Y-
morpheme.
Yes, that's correct. This is inflectional morpheme lang because it didn't change the word walk. It's still a verb, but indicated that it's a past
Past.
tense. How about you, Jai? What is the word her? What is it? What kind of morpheme is it?
Lexical.
Wait, that's correct. Oh no. Sorry.
Mali. Function.
Sorry. But let's assume I didn't do that. So the correct, actually, this one, her, the word her is a functional morpheme because it's a pronoun. Okay, so that's F. How about cat? What is it?
It's a lexical.
Okay, yeah, it's a lexical morpheme because it's a noun. How about with? Jai, I'm so sorry, Jai. I will answer this for you. Yes, it's functional because it's a
Yeah.
preposition. Conjunction, sorry. It's a conjunction. So it's functional. How about the word the? Raymond. What is it?
That is a article. So no, it's a free morpheme and it belongs to functional.
Yes, that's correct. The word "the" is an article, so it's a functional morpheme. How about volleyball? Jai, how many morphemes are there in volleyball? Do you think there are one or only two? Do you think
They
there are
are
two?
one.
Yeah, there's only one because volleyball is a compound noun, so it's only one. So what do you think volleyball is? What kind of morpheme is it? Is it free? I mean, is it lexical? Is it free? Functional? Derivational? Inflectional?
Inflectional.
The- Close. The correct answer is it's lexical because it's a noun. So it's lexical. How about for the word player, Raymond? How many morphemes are in the word player?
Two. Sorry.
Two. Okay, yeah, that's correct. There are two. So what is play in this scenario? What kind of morpheme is it?
Play is, well, it depends.
Play what? No, what kind of morpheme is this? What category? Is it lexical? Is it functional? Is it derivative?
It's a lexical.
Yes, it's lexical. Because in this case,
It's a verb.
yeah, it's a verb. Yeah, it's a verb. How about ER? Jai, what do you think ER is? It is attached to the root morpheme play, therefore it's a bound morpheme. So what kind of bound morpheme is ER?
ER.
Yeah.
It's inflectional.
Close. It's derivational. It's derivational because it changed play, which was usually a verb, into a noun. Naging player siya. Naging noun na siya. So it's a derivational. Yeah. Okay, last one, Raymond. What is the word K? It's a name pala. It's a name.
K
The verb
is
play.
a noun, so it's less lexical.
Yeah. That is correct. K is a lexical morpheme. So to review, so again, free morphemes have two categories, lexical and functional. Bound morphemes have also two categories, derivational, which doesn't change, which changes pala, rather, which changes forms, and inflectional, which doesn't change forms. So that is all for today. Do you have any questions for me or clarifications?
None.
None in
Are
the
you
chapel.
sure?
The discussion is delivered well. Has been delivered well.
Okay. So if you have no questions for me, I have questions for you.
I have a question.
No.
I'm
So-
just kidding.
So I have a task for you. So you can do this in your free time whenever you're free or if you don't have anything to do because I will be giving you until April 3 to finish this task. So I want you to watch a video. I will send the link on our chat box. I want you to watch this video. It's quite short, only like a minute or so. And I want you to focus or it's a Japanese video with English subtitles. So you just have to read the subtitles. I want you to focus on how they use the morphemes in this video. After watching on said video, I want you to answer this quiz. I also sent it in our chat box. So I just you only need to sign in using any of your Gmail accounts and then answer this very short quiz. It's only 15 questions from 20 to 40 seconds. So you have to identify the morphemes and some of the morphemes used in the video in this quiz. So you can only answer once, so you have to be sure. And then after that, after answering the quiz, you can immediately see your score. So it's quite quick. So after that, we will be after answering, you don't have to do anything else because it would be automatically recorded. So you have until April 3 to answer this little quiz. So if you have any more questions for me, clarifications, if none, are you sure you have no questions?
Ma'am, what email are we going to use for that
Uh,
quiz?
You can use any of your email. You can use your Kabsu email or just normal email. It's okay.
So we can try again and again. As long as we have a lot of
Well,
emails.
I want you to try only once. But if it's up to you and God if you will answer again and again. But only once.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
How about you, Raymond? Do you have any question? Okay. If you have no more questions, that's it for today. Again, you may contact me through my email during office hours only. Don't contact me during the middle of the night. That's it for today. Thank you so much for participating and listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye.